Ah. Oh, good gracious me. I can't believe the time has passed so quickly. I have missed one of my favorite reruns of a classic show I enjoy watching on the television. Oh, Mrs. Defoe, do stop whatever it is you are doing and come in here. The show has already started. I know it's one of your favorite moments as well. Nothing beats this classic Christmas episode of Gunsmoke. Festus and Doc are at their finest, wouldn't you say? Yeah, let me turn up the volume for us. Ah, there we go.
Oh, Miss Kitty, Matthew, Doc, hi, Sam, bring me a beer, bring all of us a beer.
Merry Christmas, Festus.
Thank you, Matthew. I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas too now.
Merry Christmas.
That's mighty nice of you, Festus. Have you got any plans for the rest of the day?
Well, now that you mention it, I do have one thing I was hoping to do, and it's with all of you, too.
What's that, Festus?
Well, I wanted to recite to you a little story that's been passed down from Hagen to Hagen for 9 to 5 generations or such. It's a poem that my granddaddy Hog Hagen first recited to me back when I was just a little tyke.
Well, what's the title of it?
"'Twas the night before Christmas."
You know 'twas the night before Christmas?
Course I knows the night before Christmas. I ain't an idiot.
That remains yet to be seen, but I find the fact that you know 'twas the night before Christmas highly improbable.
What's that mean?
Not likely.
Oh, well, now, you listen here, you old scuttard. I don't have to take any of that, especially on Christmas. It's a day to be happy and not bicker about nothing or nobody.
Oh, hush up. I'm just surprised is all. 'Twas the night before Christmas happens to be a very famous poem, and I just so happen to have it right here in this book.
You mean they have it in a book? I thought it was just passed down word of mouth.
Well, like I said, it's a very famous poem, and it didn't come from the backwoods region neither. It was actually published back in 1823, back when I was just a kid.
It's hard to believe you being anything but a cantankerous old coot.
Well, this old coot can still whoop the tar out of you. Now, let's keep the day cheerful.
Well, nothing would make me more cheerful than to knock some sense into that old head of his.
Sometimes the feeling is mutual, but let's not worry about that now. Why don't you just, recite what you remember from what your grandfather is telling you?
Well, thank you, Doc. Well, let me just get a sip of this here beer first, and then I'll begin. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The youngest were all snug in their beds with dreams of moonshine in their heads.
Hold it! Wait just a minute. Are you sure that's how it goes?
That's the way my granddaddy put it. Now, if you just sit back and listen for a while, it'll all make sense.
Festus, I can't do that, because you're already messing up the poem. Now, I'll tell you what. I'll read it aloud instead. I'm sure it'll make better sense than what your grandfather remembered. Let me just put on my glasses and find where it's at. Ah, here it is. "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" by Clement Seymour.
Who's that?
The author.
Well, what kind of name is Seymour?
Not Seymour, C. Moore. C was his middle initial.
Oh, seems kind of weird putting that in like that.
Well, it helps separate him from other authors who might share the same name. Now, just be quiet for a few moments if you think that's possible. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads.
What's sugar plums?
It's a type of candied fruit. Now, shut up.
All right.
And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on a breast of new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
Hey, wait a minute, that's not the name of the reindeer that I was told.
Somehow that does not surprise me. Now be quiet, I'm still reading.
Oh, fiddle, you old buzzard, you.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot.
Now that sounds like what a Hagen would wire.
A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow.
Sounds like your mustache.
The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke had encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, and then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle.
What's thistle?
Be quiet, Festus.
Well,
but I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Well, that was quite nice, Doc. Thank you.
Sure was. Gave me a nice warm feeling.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Doc.
Well, what I'm gonna say, Doc, it sure was different from what my granddaddy told us. I guess there were a few things he must have forgot along the way. I sure do appreciate you reading that there poem to us. Sorry I kept on interrupting you. I was not really showing off my manners.
Well, I was happy to do it, Matt Festus. It's one of my favorite pastimes, reading Christmas poetry. Of course, the greatest form of Christmas literature is reading the biblical account.
Yeah, sure is. Say, what time is it, Doc?
It's about 4:45. Why?
Didn't the preacher say he was going to have another service this evening, right around 5 o'clock?
I think I remember him saying that, yes.
Well, then why don't we just go on down to the church and listen to that story again? I knows we heard it all last night, but I wouldn't mind hearing it again, especially now that there's a lot of snow falling. What do you say?
Well, I don't see a problem with that. How about it, Matt, Kitty, Sam?
Well, then let's hurry along. Preacher don't stop for nobody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Doc, you old scuttered.
Merry Christmas, Festus. I still think you got some loose. We'll forget about that now.
Loose what?
Oh, never mind.
No, wait a minute, Doc. I want to know what you mean by what loose things. Have I got loose things in my head? Or is my cinch strap loose on the old mule or what?